Hey everybody, it's Missy again. Thanks for joining me today. I'm back with a new layout for the Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2017 May Hip Kits for this. So my theme for today was to create a scene of some sort on my layout, and so the first thing I thought of was flowers. So I went to the cardstock kit because there are a ton of gorgeous colors in there this month, and I arranged some of the flowers from one of the exclusive cut files available under the downloads tab on the Hip Kit website for this month. And I just made some big ones, some small ones, and cut the cardstock to match, and I cut them on my Cameo. Now the bottom strip of green, my Cameo went wonky and my mat went all crooked, and as you can see, some of the leaves got hacked off in the middle, but that's okay. So what I did was I took some white gesso and just kind of prepped some of these flowers. I didn't cover the entire flower with the gesso, but I wanted to use some of the watercolors that we got in the color kit, and those are the Prima watercolor confections. And I wanted to jazz up the flowers and make them look kind of artsy and messy and give them some different shades of color while allowing the cardstock color to show through as well. So all I'm doing is painting just little splotches of color onto the flowers and then using my finger to kind of smudge it around. And I'm doing this right on top of my Silhouette Cameo cutting mat before I peel everything off. It just keeps everything still and keeps it flat while I paint it. And I'm not using a ton of water here. I just wanted some bright, pretty flowers, and I thought, I don't use the cardstock a lot. I use it for backgrounds a lot, but I wanted to kind of just see what I could do with the paint and the different colors of cardstock. So I think this turned out really pretty. And when I saw the prompt of creating a scene, I searched through everything looking for something blue to create a sky and something green to create some grass. And I just couldn't find it, and I didn't want to paint an entire piece of white cardstock. I use that so much. I wanted to try something different. So I kind of interpreted scene loosely, I guess you could say. And so I'm basically going to create a bunch of, it's going to look like a garden of flowers. And I'm going to put a bird on there. So I think it counts as a scene. Maybe if you were laying in a garden full of flowers and, but I think the prompts are there for interpretation and inspiration and however you feel like going with it at the moment. And so this is how I interpreted scene for this particular day with these particular products, and I like how it turns out. So I'm not going to make you watch me color every single one of these flowers here, but I did want to get a lot of the corals, the pinks, that deep pink, the yellow, and then I'm going to jazz up these leaves because the mint is really light, and so I wanted to add some teal and some deeper greens to those leaves just to give them some shading, make them look a little more realistic. Yeah, and you know how sometimes your Cameo gets wonky and it will make a loud noise, or at least mine does, and my mat was getting stuck, and so it kind of hacked off my flowers there. Anyway, here's what I've got. I think this looks gorgeous. I think those colors are beautiful, and I love the leaves, and even the insides of the leaves look really cool. Here's the photo strip I'm going to use. It's just, I printed this on 4x6. It's 3 black and whites of me and my youngest daughter. We're always taking selfies. Well, I'm always trying to get her to come to me to take a selfie, but this was right after she lost one of her little bottom teeth, and so I was using every excuse in the book to try to get her to smile and show me. And you can kind of see in the last one she's smiling where I can see her tooth, or where it was. Anyway, I'm going to use this really pretty minty artsy looking background paper. I believe that is from crepe paper, and I'm just going to play around here for a while and try to arrange all of these flowers and leaves. I thought about cutting the photo strip up and using the pictures all over the page, but then I kind of liked how it looked in a strip, so I'm going to leave it as is and try to make it work. And I think I'm going to situate the photo strip down in the lower right hand corner and create sort of a diagonal design with the flowers in the background. Now I decided I need a little more yellow. Now this punch, I have an accent all of a sudden, punch is an old punch, and it is from Big Lots. I don't know if you guys have Big Lots. It actually closed in our nearest town, but I saw this one day, and it was a cute little flower punch. It's very hard to punch it, but it works. So I used that and one of my Martha Stewart little flower punches from a long time ago and punched some light pink and yellow flowers just because I felt like it needed a couple more of something. And so I just punched them out. I didn't want to go back to the cameo because it already messed up my leaves and I was kind of mad at it at the moment, so I just decided it needed a break. We needed to take a break or we were going to have a big fight. Alright, so I'm going to jazz up the background with some white gesso and my palette knife and my hands and just kind of smudge it around. I don't want to cover up a lot of that green, but I want to prep the paper for some more of this beautiful watercolor. So if you have the Prima watercolors here, don't be afraid to mix and match the colors because the color that I wanted was not there, just as is. And so I mixed some blues and greens together and got the color that I wanted. And I'm just doing this on some plastic packaging, and these watercolors work great with the plastic packaging. They stay really bold. I was very impressed when I went to dab it up with the napkin. It stayed pretty true and bold to the color, because a lot of times when you use a napkin to dab it up, you know, it will lighten up a lot. And this did a little bit, but I like that it stayed the color I wanted it to. So I'm also mixing and matching in some shimmers, sprays, and these are shimmers that we have collected over the past 2 years in our color kits. I always keep all of my Hip Kit color kit stuff right on my desk because I use it so much. And that's the beauty of getting the color kit is, you know, you're not going to just run out in that 1 month. You're going to be able to use it for a long time. I believe over 2 years ago, 2 Christmases ago, we got some gold color shine. I'm still using it. So the color kits are great because that stuff's going to last you a while. And this is the Jenny B Blue. I think it might have been over a year since we got that, and I use it a lot. So as you can see here, I'm just adding in some color. I want some of that bold turquoise, so I just decided to pull in a little bit of gelato here and do a little bit of extra smudging just to give it a little bit more of that pop of that turquoise color kind of mixed in with the aqua green. And then I'm going to bold. I can't even talk today. It's the morning. This is why I try not to do voiceovers in the morning because I don't make much sense. I wanted to make the yellow a little more bold. I was going to say bolden it up. You probably would have known what I meant, but that's not even a real word. So anyway, that's why I use the yellow gelato. And now I'm going to kind of rebuild everything. And you can see how the blue sort of changes everything. It gives the flowers some separation from that mint background. And it really allows the colors and those flowers to pop out. And plus, aqua turquoisey blue is my favorite color, up next to yellow and pink, and so I have to have that on there. And so the tricky part to doing something like this, where you've got a lot of little bits and pieces, is to get it like you want it and then glue it on down, because the more you move it around, the more it's going to move. And if you like the way it looks, add a little bit of glue just like I'm doing here. And so all those flowers are pretty much glued down. So they're not going to move because I probably would never have gotten them back just like so. And now I'm just kind of playing around. I'm looking at it. I'm thinking what color needs to go where. I decided I needed a little bit more yellow. So I'm going to just dab in a little bit with the paint and the gelato just to kind of add more of that color here and there. My picture's not glued down though, but I know that's where it's going to go. And I was so excited how this turned out because it's mostly cardstock, you know. I mean, with the exception of the background, the rest of it is cardstock. But when you add the paint to it, it doesn't look like your average cardstock. And so there's really a lot you can do with the cardstock kit. Okay, so now I'm going to embellish, and I am going to use this cute bird. Helps it look more like a scene, and that is from the Crate Paper chipboard sheet. This is the Chamel sticker book, and I'm going to use a couple of these little phrase stickers just above and below the pictures, mainly because of the color. I just like the little pops of color they give, and just give it a little bit of interest without being too much, because you know this is pretty busy. I've got all those flowers going, and so I don't want to cover them up, and I don't want to add to the busyness factor of them. I don't want to just go overboard and add too much. So everything from here on out is kind of subtle, small things, I think. Now I did want to incorporate some of these buttons into the middle of these two big flowers. So to add a pop of turquoise blue there, I'm going to add some thread and then use some of the black buttons, and those are also crepe paper, and I'm going to use those as centers of these two big flowers, and they're the perfect size. And I thought about using the pink, but then I thought, you know, I've got a lot of pink going on. This the black buttons will kind of help pull in the black from the photos, and there's also a little bit of black in that bird. Now this is an exclusive puffy sticker. We have the whole sheet of exclusive Hip Kit puffy stickers, and so I really wanted to use that Dreaming Of. I thought it was really cute, and so I'm going to try to figure out how to complete it. Dreaming of what? So I thought about using one of the white scripty word foam thickers, but I didn't like that. Thought about using the other white thickers, and so in the meantime I said just forget about it for a while and let's go to some enamel dots. And so I'm going to try to fill in most of the centers of the other flowers with enamel dots. And that's something fun to do because you have different size enamel dots, I have different size flowers, and they all worked out perfectly, and the colors matched to a T. So I decided to go smaller with the title and just use joy. And so the title's just Dreaming of Joy, and I thought about overlapping the flower on top of the O, but nah, that didn't work. So I'm going to stick it there, and it's not too much to cover up those flowers, I think. I just didn't want something huge to cover everything up. I'm going to start adding some thread, and I like the black thickers because it pulls the black from the photos, and you can really see it. And I didn't really have a specific title in mind. I kind of wanted to use items that were in the kits to make my title, because there are a ton of things. There are a ton of words and thickers and stickers to make a title with. And so sometimes if a title does not come naturally to me, I just kind of make do with what's in the kit, and I think it looks fine. I'm going to cover my picture and add in some black splatters as a finishing touch, and I believe I'm going to add my journaling, and I think that's going to wrap it up. I really like how this turned out. I think it looks like a scene in an abstract sort of way, but I was really impressed with how the cardstock reacted with the paint. I think it looks really pretty and bright, and I'm excited about this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any questions about any of the techniques, the products, anything about Hip Kit at all. Make sure you visit hipkitclub.net. The June kits are on the verge of being shipped out, and they are gorgeous as always. So don't want to miss out. So if you haven't ordered one, make sure you go and do that. And I will see you guys in the next video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out my previous video for my 6,000 subscriber giveaway, because it's going on until next Friday. So thank you, and I'll see you next time.